Hi, I'm Marcel James. This is The Pulse. I'd like to tell you why I think you should create your own YouTube channel. Now, I'm calling it an NMN channel or wellness channel, but everything I'm going to show you can pretty much be applied to any topic or theme, or what I call a core message for your video channel. My video channel started off with a video telling my story about taking NMN and resveratrol and how it really transformed me. This video, which I had no idea would go viral, ended up with now approaching 250,000 views. Now, this was all YouTube. I didn't do anything to promote the video. I posted it on my own Facebook page that has less than 1,000 followers. And it really was, I would say, probably didn't add to more than 100 views of that total viewage. So it really looked under the hood of the video and showed it to people that liked it, and it just resonated. And I think storytelling is so important for having a YouTube channel. And so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how you can tell your story, build your own channel, and how I told my story. Now, my story, as I said, was about NMN, but it's an ongoing thing. So it didn't just start and stop with NMN. And so I've been able to post more videos. My subsequent videos didn't do as well as the first video, but they've all done well enough. I mean, I've probably had another 100,000 views on top of the 250,000 from that first launching video. I had a channel when I started, and I was posting just extra thoughts. My background is in audio production and audio equipment. I worked for 20 years in that field. I worked at a company called Sweetwater. I worked for a company called Antelope Audio. And this was making a video channel was something I was doing anyway. I had my own video channel about audio production, but I found myself wanting to get into other areas. I refer to this as sort of this improved awareness or consciousness that results from taking NMN and improving your life. It makes you more aware of the world around you, makes you want to attack things like brain fog and be as healthy as you can, because you really find a connection. And I believe it's that connection that led me to making the video and the channel to begin with, because it really was just done in real time as I was going. I had no goals, no intentions to make an NMN channel. Matter of fact, there is a link to an affiliate link that was created after the fact. So if you watch that first video, I mentioned one of the brands that I'm now associated with called DoNotAge, but I had no association with them when I made that video, which I think is also very important. You don't want your channel to be about brands or products or things that you're trying to earn something from. That shouldn't be part of your core message or even a consideration. For me, it was an afterthought. I saw the video starting to get views, and I thought, well, maybe, and people were asking where you're getting these supplements, because I had bought some fake supplements on Amazon, which is all part of my story in that video. And so after the fact, I put the links up, and that led to some financial reward. And certainly it helped viewers find a reliable source. So you really can do people a favor, a big favor, by pointing them in the right direction, and then support your own efforts and your channel going forward financially by reaping some rewards from that. I'm going to talk specifically about that because I know that's something a lot of people are wondering about. For me, it's all about the storytelling and the message. And if you look at my videos, I think it's very clear because they cover the wellness issue. I have a core message with some parallel messages that I focus on and I kind of rotate through. And that's just really me living my life and sharing it with all of you guys. And that's how I would approach this. I wouldn't think in financial terms until after you have your core message, and then figure out, how can I make this viable so that I can keep doing it? My personal life, as I said, started with audio, or at least my professional life. as it relates to video and audio making. You see, I have a studio here. I had all of this. I didn't buy anything since starting my channel. You go back and look at my first videos, they all look pretty much just like this because it's the same microphone, it's the same camera, it's the same room, it's the same acoustic treatment. I had all this to begin with. Certainly, those are important things. Also, with starting a channel, I just had the advantage by having a background in videography and also with audio. These are things that can help point you in the right direction. I don't think it's in the scope of this video to get into the technical matters, but I will post some information on that. It's not super complicated. It's microphone, camera, adjust your lighting to suit your needs and your look and your presentation, and just start posting. Like, that's the most important thing I can tell you. Why you? Why should you? And why should I? And try to inspire you to make your own, let's call it again, an NMN channel. But again, it can be anything that you're into. I believe, as my previous video noted, there's going to be radical changes to society because of things like NMN, because of NAD boosters. They're going to impact society on many levels. And I've sort of become, certainly I've probably always been an idealist, but I've certainly become more socially aware recently because I've realized pretty quickly that more people taking NMN means more benefits also for me and my family. So we are all in this together. It's really true. And there are very few financial incentives for governments, corporations, social media to promote wellness. Like, there's no money to be made for most entities. When you consider big entities that kind of run the world, they really don't benefit. Matter of fact, the medical and pharmaceutical industries benefit from lack of wellness. So they're not motivated to inspire you. So somebody has to, and I believe that's you and I. Back to you and your role. I talk a lot about my own role because I think you're watching this because you feel some association or affiliation with me. And so we're in this together. We need to be the mouthpiece. We need to tell our message. For example, I have a lot of female viewers, but I also have a lot of people, taking supplements that are females. But I have a lot of people asking me, is this for women too? Because they want to hear from a woman's perspective. So if there's a viewer out there, for example, named Betty, who happened to be a nurse before, she's reaching retirement, she's taking NMN. This is kind of loosely based on someone that posted recently under a different name, but let's call her Nurse Betty for now. If Nurse Betty were to go take NMN, feel energy, feel focus, with her medical background associated with that and her knowledge of the human body associated now, combined with that, now she's taking supplements, now she's living healthier, now she's intermittent fasting, now she has a story to tell. And Nurse Betty, people are going to want to hear from her. Women are going to want to hear from her, men too, and they're going to want to know from somebody with that background. Because my background's communication, I've got a down-to-earth approach, which probably comes across credible. So that's my biggest strength. I've been in front of a camera for a long time, so I'm comfortable talking to the camera because I imagine there's people on the other end. So I'm talking to you, but I have a lot of practice with that. That may not be your skill set. But Nurse Betty, for example, would have other skill sets, and she would reach people on another kind of personal level. And so we need some Nurse Bettys, all right? We need some people out there besides me and a few others. I know there's one called Vince, and I know there are other people with channels, and they're doing a good job, but they're usually men, and they're usually, we reach an audience. I reach an audience. You could reach another audience. And it's in all of our best interest that you do that. I've thought about this for a long time. How could I present this message, this story? And there is some self-preservation instinct where we go, well, why do I want to create a bunch of other channels? Well, I'm not selling you any of this. I'm not selling you anything here with this video. If you want to support me on Patreon. I'm putting a new link that I'm establishing today by sometime around the time this video posts. You can support me in my efforts. That's fine. That's enough. But I'm not here to sell you a course, or this isn't leading to something, right? The goal is that we get our message out there. And I'm offering my assistance, and I'm going to talk to you about ways that I can also help you and kind of try and point you in the right direction to get this going. So it's not just an inspirational video. I'm also going to give you some how-to information. So along those lines, how to do it. Again, tell your story. Define a core message. I mean, write it down. What is going to be involved with your channel all the time? Like, you can deviate from that. You can expand on that. You can have what I would call parallel messages that are associated or intertwined with your core message, but have a core message. That is important. As a matter of fact, it's critically important to you, because if you don't have a core message, your story that you believe in, that you want to continue, you're going to burn out. You're going to run out of ideas. You're going to stop. You're going to get disinterested, and it'll just be something that you started up and didn't continue. But if it's your story and they're really passionate about it, and it's something that impacted you and it's ongoing, you're going to be like me, and you're just going to keep going and keep talking about it because you're going to enjoy talking about it, and you're going to reap rewards, and you're going to want to share that. If you're anything like me, that's just how you are. That's how we're wired. And the other thing that does, by having a core message, the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, looks at thumbnails. It looks at, there's a limited scope that it can look at a thumbnail, but it can read the text on your thumbnail. It can read your title, reads your description, looks at your hashtags. Also, there are other keywords that you enter. All of that matters. It completes a story that you're telling YouTube about your core message. And it's going to find you an audience, because it's in its own best interest to have an audience, to have content for the populace that keeps them on the platform. That's ultimately the goal of the YouTube algorithm. So by having this core message, and also it can read your title. I know this is spooky, but your subtitles, basically, if you don't type in your own subtitles, which I usually do a day or two after the video post, I'll watch it, transcribe it all, type them in myself so that they're accurate. But it'll create, you just enter a language when you're setting up your video, it'll create the subtitles for you if you don't do it. So in other words, it can also determine from the actual text that you're saying in your video, it can also determine what your message is and who to show that to. And I believe, because I told the story, because it resonated with people, the way they were clicking on it, the way they were watching it, their viewing patterns, tendencies, but also the content itself, things like chapters in the description, helped the algorithm to show it to those 250,000 times. There were some technical drawbacks along the way with that. I would recommend getting your channel verified very early. My channel wasn't verified yet, but I reached certain metrics, watch time and subscribers. I think it's like 4,000 hours watch time, 1,000 subscribers. Then your channel will become monetized. Won't earn you a ton, but it can earn you something from Google. Well, because I wasn't verified, I had this month-long lull, and they won't tell you they bottleneck your views, but my video was like at its peak. It was just taking off. Probably would have got to like 1 million views had I been verified earlier. So it cost me a lot. So make sure you verify it. Make sure you fill out all of the blocks as soon as you can, as soon as you start getting viewers and subscribers, so that you don't lose out on traffic, viewers, subscribers, and ultimately some monetization opportunities. How I can help you with the channel is some technical direction, as I've already shared some things, warning you of some pitfalls that derailed me at times with all of this. I can point you in the direction with certain monetization efforts like Patreon, which I'm just now getting into 9 months after the channel, because I felt funny about it when I had 1,000 subscribers, 2,000 subscribers. But it's grown to the point where people are starting to ask me, can they help with my channel? And that was kind of an indicator, like, for me that, it's time to have a Patreon myself so that people who want to do something extra to help out can. And that'll help fund the supplements I'm doing, the tests I'm doing, the time I'm dedicated to this, and also even further lab tests that I want to do. So I've certainly got needs to fill with that, and I'm sure you do as well. A lot of you find yourselves, and this is coming from other comments, being inspired to do something. You've got this focus, you've got this energy, you join the gym, you're out there exercising, but now you're realizing, and I'm realizing, gosh, I'm going to have another 20 productive years. I'm no longer on the decline. I'm on an increase. I'm on an incline. I'm actually getting better and younger and feeling better. So having something to do with all that energy is very important. Again, back to ways I can help you. I'll tell you one right now. You make a channel, I will promote it in my own videos. I'll give you a shout out. Matter of fact, right here, whoever makes the next video channel from watching this video about your story, hopefully your NMN story or wellness story, some kind of positive story, supplement story in general, I'll post it here. So there's one thing I can do for you. I'm also available. I've done this for Rob Salter, a guy who watched my channel and sort of reinvented his own channel, started making it more about self-improvement in general. It always was that way for him, but now he's talking more about NMN and supplements too. We did an interview, and I think, pat myself on the back, I think it's his largest viewed video. So I'm happy to do that for some of you as well, especially the guys that get in early. Listen, I'm here to help you. I want to point you in the right direction. I'll give you some technical direction, maybe some creative direction, because I was in marketing for a long time. So again, free stuff. Just support me on Patreon. Here's some ideas for some different wellness topics that you could cover. And I'll also talk about some benefits that I've had. Again, supplements is a big one. Doesn't have to be NMN. It could be other supplements. I take several that I talk about. It could be about exercising. That's a great way. I started with the supplements, and then I improved my exercise because of the benefits that I was getting that I'll talk about in a moment. And again, this is to give you ideas. These are things that worked for me, but maybe it inspires some idea for you to take your own story and tell it. Fasting, dietary improvements, all that came after the supplements because I wanted to enhance the effects of it, but also because NMN and resveratrol specifically were making it easier to exercise. They were helping with appetite suppression. So I was able to quit sugar, recently quit alcohol, which I never thought I'd do. I will still have an occasional beer or wine, I'll tell you right now, but for the past month, I only had 2. And over the past 3 weeks, I've had 0. Since my video about quitting alcohol, I've had none. Alcohol-free beer, which has a trace of alcohol in it. Doesn't taste as good, but on a hot day or after a bunch of tennis, I will have an alcohol-free beer. That's it. Your video could be about appearance. I mean, one of the big attractors was the thumbnail for my video, which again just happened. I was looking on my phone at different pictures before and after. I said, wow. I looked in the mirror one day and I saw what I looked like myself. But prior to that, I'd been kind of vanishing and turning into some version of my father in the mirror. But then I saw myself again. I started taking a few selfies. Then I compared them to stuff that I just happened to have from other videos or other days when I was out and just taking selfies. And I was blown away with the differences. It wasn't just that I lost weight. It was like puffiness around my eyes. By the way, my allergies dissipated. Well, let's just jump to that. Things that I've realized from NMN, and again, this is how you would kind of tell your story. You'd find your core message, and then you talk about the things that it impacted for you. I had definitely more energy, more focus. My skin started getting softer and less inflamed. So I had less puffiness around my eyes. Those black, dark circles around the eyes are pretty much gone. Those really, for some reason, those really annoyed me because no matter how much weight I would ever lose, I always had these dark circles that went away. Intermittent fasting, I sleep better. Intermittent fasting is, again, made easier because of appetite suppression from taking. Now, I still enjoy a meal, but I enjoy it between a 7-8 hour window of the day. And then I don't eat before 11 a.m. and I don't eat after 7 p.m. Exercise definitely improved because my stamina has improved, so I can do more, and my recovery has improved. Health benefits, like, as I said, allergies are almost non-existent. I took a Zyrtec 3 times this spring so far. This time of year, I'm taking it every day usually. I had no allergies in the fall and winter when I also have like dust and cold weather kind of allergies. I could make a channel out of one topic from health, just from the health benefits, about anxiety, because I had so many episodes with anxiety attacks and it was just something, there was no cure for it. Not even taking pills like a Xanax would help, if it was really severe. But I didn't really want to be taking Xanax all the time because it's addictive. And I didn't like the way I feel when I took it, but it became this sort of necessary last resort. But ultimately, I ended up at the ER, I would say over a 10-year period, 8 times, maybe more, that I lost track of, where I just felt like I was dying. And I haven't had that at all since taking NMN. It started to improve when I started resveratrol first. Then I started taking NMN a year later. Then I had a period of the fake NMN, which was really annoying, but again, helped lead to the storytelling of this channel. And but since NMN, I've had nothing, no anxiety attacks. It's like starting life over again. And allergies I've had my entire life. So to not be suffering from allergies is insane to me. And it makes me wonder how related like allergies are to, like I mentioned, the puffiness going away, how much anxiety, allergies, inflammation, how all of this is interrelated. I have a feeling it's quite significant. Also to your health in general. I've posted about this. What blew me away is how many other people commented. And this is another important reason to tie all this together with why you should tell your story and why you should make your own channel. A lot of other viewers that are taking NMN and started after they saw my first video specifically also didn't get sick this last winter. Like from nothing. No colds, no flus, no runny noses, no coughs. This is the first time in my life. This was the first winter of my life where I got sick 0 times. If I started to feel a little something, I would increase my NMN dosage. Typically, I was at 0.5 gram, 500 milligrams, which is 1 spoon from the DoNotAge container that I get. And I've recently raised that quite a bit. I eased my way up to 2 grams. I feel like 1.5 grams is going to be where I'm going to land. But for right now, until I do my second follow-up NAD level test, blood test, I'm going to stick with the 2 grams for now. But I really feel good after 1.5, which is 2 scoops in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. If I upped that when I started to feel sick, which I found really interesting, I immediately I didn't have cold symptoms. I had sort of a couple moments where I felt like, oh, I could start getting sick. Like maybe a slight a sneeze, a little bit of something that made me say, am I starting to get sick? You know how that feeling is when it starts to come on and you start to take vitamin C typically, and that may or may not help, or it just like delays it. This time with NMN, I never got it. So, and other people are saying the same things. So another example of why it's so important for us to share our stories with each other. Liver, this was a blood test thing. I had elevated liver enzymes. I had a fatty liver. I went back to the doctor after 3 months of NMN, had all the tests done again. Everything came back normal. Matter of fact, I had a hernia operation unrelated to all of this in October, something I'm really glad I got fixed now, because now I could just exercise like crazy. The blood tests were all normal in every aspect. no high cholesterol, nothing. My resting heart rate was right around 50 the entire time I stayed at the hospital, and 120 over 80 was my blood pressure, and the entire time, just so consistent, like rock solid. So yeah, I do attribute those benefits for me to my time with NMN, my experience with NMN. So to summarize everything for you, I think you should make your own channel. I'm here to help you. I'm sharing any ideas I can with my own channel. The ways I feel like I can probably point you in the right direction is to help cultivate that core message, point you in the right direction for some monetization opportunities. Google, my 350,000 views led to just over 3,000 earned from Google. It's not a massive amount of money. You need a massive amount of traffic to make good money from Google's. But there's some money there, and it adds to the pot, like I said, with other things that I'm doing. Affiliate links can lead to some money. It's not going to solve all your problems, but it's just a few percent typically, but it helps. And again, find first the reliable company to partner with, and maybe I can help point you in some right direction, or we could even discuss maybe doing something with DoNotAge. But keep in mind, companies and even myself are going to be more inclined to be associated with you and work with you if you have credibility, if you're believable, if you're genuine. So don't do this, if you're just thinking I could earn something from this. It won't work. No one will want to work with you, and it will undermine all of your intentions and all of your potential. And it's just not the way to go about it. Find the message, find something that works for you, share your story. In this case, we need more NMN storytellers out there to help, because what we are, I'll tell you one impact. I feel like my channel helped drive some extra business for NMN, specifically for DoNotAge. And I was one of their, biggest video guys out there, one of their biggest influencers, pretty much immediately, thanks to YouTube and that big video. And ultimately, several months later, as has been the case since NMN was introduced, the prices recently came down 20%. Was I the cause of that? No. Was I a part of the cause? Yes. And all of you were as well. Because the more people that are taking NMN, the more the prices will come down. It's supply and demand, just like any other product or service or commodity that's sold. And that's ultimately what we all should strive for. Better quality, better testing, more human trials, government oversight where appropriate, trying to get the fake brands off of Amazon. We have to combine our efforts to accomplish these goals, to make it an even better experience for all of us that are out here trying to better ourselves. So I guess I'll wrap it up for now right there. I hope to hear from you. I hope to hear from you in the comments. Please subscribe, support my new Patreon, as I mentioned. Stick around. Let me know if you're going to start a channel. Start with a video. You don't have to make it public yet. You can show it to me, myself, and some others. I can ask some people to look at it. We can comment on it. You can maybe rework it and then post it publicly after you sort of edited it and sort of improved it. Don't get in a rush. People want to hear your story, but it doesn't have to be tomorrow. It could be when it's ready. And I'll leave you with that thought. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.